I have a headline that I think pretty much sums up the chaos that COVID is doing through the criminal justice system. 9 trials in 9 months. That shows the trickle of criminal and civil cases tied to the state and federal courts in New York City this year. Last year, give you a frame of reference, there were about 800 such cases. Now that type of thing, it's playing out across the country. Many judges, they're trying to start trials concerned that they're violating here the constitutional rights of people to a free and fair trial if they don't. But many more, they're stalled, leaving inmates waiting for longer periods of time, also making it harder for prosecutors to do their job as witnesses' memories fade and investigations go cold. Jimmy, can you do justice for our audience just how much of a hot mess COVID has caused the criminal justice system, which, as I gave an example, seems to have grounded to a halt?
Rich, it is an absolutely unprecedented mess. You're absolutely right. Because of the pandemic, trials have been completely halted. In the eastern and southern districts, personal appearances have been completely halted. We're doing everything virtually. But when it comes to the trials, there are so many competing interests that are at stake here. It has really become a quandary in every respect. On the one hand, there are no trials, and these inmates are sitting in these prisons, which are absolute petri dishes for this virus. Just yesterday, it was reported that the MDC in Brooklyn, the federal prison, had reported 73 positive tests. And we know from our research and case law and what judges have found that there is such a significant underreporting in prisons. We try to get our clients released on compassionate release applications, and for the most part, 90% of them are denied. So these inmates are in jail, in prison, waiting for a trial that they want to have. So then you've got the courts, which started trying to put courtrooms together in order to conduct these trials. And I have to say that even that presented problems. You know, trials are personal. Trials are where jurors need to look at witnesses, look at their faces, assess their body movement, their demeanor in order to assess credibility. And the way these trials were conducted, you had a witness who could have been wearing a mask or a face shield. The jurors were put in the gallery some 40 or 50 feet behind them, completely spread out. You have Sixth Amendment concerns. You have so many concerns about the way these courtrooms have been retrofitted that I want to do a trial for my client, but I want that client to get a fair trial. You have issues with jurors. Who's going to respond? They sent out 240 jury notices in federal court. 40 people responded. Who are the people showing up? Are you getting a fair cross-section of the community?
And I can only imagine the backlog of cases that when they finally do open it up, what that's going to look like. Mayo, would I be wrong to say that in some ways, if you're a defense attorney, you're sitting in a catbird seat because the prosecutors are going to want to kind of work out some settlement with you in effect here, that they're going to plea bargain something down because, you know, they got to keep the wheels of justice moving, or would I be wrong?
Well, to some degree that will happen. It largely depends on the nature of the case. On more minor cases, you're likely to have that. For more significant cases, you're looking at what Jim was saying, and you're going to have clients who are just sitting in jail. That actually benefits the prosecution because now you have a prisoner who's thinking, well, gee, I want to try to get out of jail. And the other thing is, for us on the defense side, sometimes you're in a position where if it's a case that's not violent, that wouldn't be screaming out for jail, it gives you an opportunity for you to say, listen, here's a year that this person has gone and done very well, that this person's maybe not a candidate for incarceration, or that perhaps they don't need probation, but gives the people who are charged sometimes an opportunity to do good things that are going to mitigate their circumstances. But on the other hand, something as simple as a DWI can result in a person losing their license almost indefinitely. You can lose your license. Some people have not had a license almost for a year, maybe for more, because they weren't able to resolve their case.
You know, Doug, there's always, you guys could probably tell a million of them, lawyer jokes here, but not all lawyers are living high off the hog here. In fact, for guys who are hanging a shingle out the door, I can only imagine, given the realities the guys just discussed about how things are shut down, there's 1.3 million active attorneys in this country. Maybe the bankruptcy attorneys are doing good, but I got to assume a lot of lawyers are hurting economically now.
Well, that may be true, but think of their poor clients. Their clients are in court seeking justice. These are people that are in court trying to get, maybe they've been injured in some way, and they're now sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and nobody's helping them if they're stuck at home and they have bills piling up. So you can feel sorry for the lawyers, and you should, but you should really feel sorry for their clients because they're suffering.
All right, guys, stay with me. When we come back, we're going to have a lightning round. 3 stories, 3 attorneys, and a lot of ground for me to cover. Stay with me.